Hey everybody. So I'm here with one of my personal favorites, Mr. Joe McNally. Joe, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Hey man. I wanted to spend some time talking a little bit, not so much about photography, not so much about flash, but just about people. And I'll just kind of say this right off the bat. Aside from being friends, I'm a huge fan of McNally for a very, very one specific thing. The ability to be able to kind of capture the person. And I think that a lot of the times people forget that when you're shooting photography, it's that person that you're there to capture. It's not light. It just you happen to use light, but it's really the essence of the person. So I figured you're really, really good about that kind of stuff. How does that work into what you do as a photographer?
I think to the degree any one of us is good at it, it's when we remember first and foremost, this isn't about technique. People photography is about people. And getting in front of a camera is a very vulnerable, sometimes extremely difficult thing for people to do. And sometimes, you know, we're anxiety ridden, we're insecure, you know, we're worried about our f-stops, our light, or this or that, our time, everything else. And we forget about the fact that there's a person out there and they're just as insecure or more so than we are. So I think the first thing you have to do, and you're very good at this as well, is put that person at ease. Make them feel special. Make them feel like they are the most important thing right now. I fuss over people. Here's the thing. Get your hands on people. I always advocate this, and if you've listened to any lessons I've done, you've seen this happen before. If I'm about to take your picture, I'll click a couple times, oh, yeah, and then I'll say, may I? I always ask permission. I say, may I make an adjustment? And personally, you know, I fuss, you know, this and that, and, you know, get everybody. You don't do anything to anybody. They don't look any different. But what happened there?
Communication.
Communication. Verbal and physical. Somebody lets you touch them. And also, it gets them thinking, wow, this person actually really wants me to look good. This person's working hard to make me look good. You can almost physically see them relax.
Nice, great. And it's those kinds of things that I think that really do separate, you know, someone who's working on the craft of photography and a person who's actually out there making sure that that person is being celebrated rather than the work. And one of the things that I've always been a big fan of is your work that you've done with 9/11. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we pointed out is that you have something coming up on the 9/11, on the 10th anniversary, right?
Absolutely. You said a very key word there, celebrate the person. That's what people photography is about. And certainly in the aftermath of 9/11, that's what I attempted to do by engineering a photo project that came to be known as Faces of Ground Zero. I used the world's only giant Polaroid camera, which is a lumbering beast of a camera, which actually no longer is operable. But the result were a collection of pictures of people whose lives intersected with 9/11 in very dramatic fashion. Now, 10 years later, not with the giant Polaroid, with digital still images and video, what we're doing is we're updating that project, revisiting people, some of whom I've stayed in touch with and have become friends over the course of the last 10 years. And again, what you said about making the person feel important and feel like they're being celebrated is true once again. You know, there's an emotional connection there that's been going on for 10 years, and that's what I'm trying to do, see where their lives have come to 10 years later.
Yeah, lots of stuff has changed since since 2001. It's a different thing. All the different factors, so many different things have changed since September 11th. And yes, it's really, really nice to be able to go back now. Some things aren't there anymore. You have Bin Laden's done. You have people that have grown up. Like you were showing us some pictures of people who have grown up.
Exactly.
And small children are now, you know, it's a new life for them. And I think that that's one of those things that it's a very, very touching thing to be able to see you do.
Thank you.
Now, for more information on all of this stuff, we'll go ahead and we'll put a lower third right here for all of this. Make sure you take a look at this. It's very, very amazing.